Hey everybody, this is Tate Fisher with Team HMB, and we are sharing our number one training tip. I don't think I have just one that I want to share, but I'm going to start with this one for today. My number one training tip right now is going to be focusing on range of motion and flexibility. A lot of times we get so focused on our strength training, our Metcons, Olympic lifting, all of that stuff, and so focused on that we forget the precursor or even the aftermath of a lot of those workouts is really stretching out, focusing on flexibility, and stretching out the fascia and the muscles and everything else that goes with that. For my clients right now, my athletes especially are struggling with shoulder issues, so I have been trying to reiterate the importance to them of working on range of motion. They need to re-engage the flexibility that they once had, or maybe that they never had. We need to start introducing that, working on that prior to building any strength. So if we do exercises where someone's picking up a plate, working their shoulder out this direction or back this direction, and working on those different things, maybe coming up, all of that to then open up a range of flexibility that allows any lifts that they're going to do, any training they're going to do in the gym to be 10 times better. And not only that, but to prevent injury as well. Another thing that goes along with that is the fact that athletes often forget that it's not just that one joint or that one area of muscles that is the issue. There's a lot going on with our whole kinetic chain, our whole entire spine and central nervous system. If that is out of line, out of whack, and isn't functioning properly, then everything else is going to be affected. My most recent experience with that was the fact that my knee was hurting really bad for about a month. I was trying to stay off of it, have some rest, which as you all know is really frustrating to not continue to be able to train hard. But I went in after 2 weeks of missing appointments with my chiropractor. I went in and I said, hey, you've got to do something because I feel like I'm going to have to call an orthopedic surgeon. And that was how bad the pain was. He looked at me for maybe a minute, assessed the whole situation, and realized that my sacrum was out. So by adjusting my sacrum, I was able to get up off that table, felt so much better, went home that night and was able to carry heavy furniture up my stairs, whereas before it hurt to just walk up the stairs, period, with my own weight. And then 2 days later was back at the gym training, doing double unders, squatting, weight overhead, everything felt completely normal once again. So my biggest lesson in that is that if there's something going on with the knee, the shoulder, the arm, it's not always that's the issue. There may be something going on with the spine. For me, it was the sacrum. So before you rush off to a doctor or even a physical therapist and think something's going on, you might want to check with a chiropractor. For me, that's the Maximize Living chiropractor. They have a whole total wellness program that they focus on. It's not just a crack shack like some of you think as chiropractors. And another part of that too is realizing that once you're adjusted, if you're still training the muscles improperly, you're going to get right back where you started before. So again, working on getting the fascia worked out, even if that means acupuncture or dry needling, rolling on a lacrosse ball, foam roller, doing exercises that enhance your flexibility, mobility WOD. Everybody knows about Kelly Starrett's supple leopard. Any of that stuff is going to be beneficial in increasing your flexibility and range of motion and reducing injury and reducing pain. Another note to add to that is to not train through the pain if it pertains to a joint or a bone, something like that seems off. We all train through muscle pain. Totally normal, totally healthy to train through that. But if it's a joint that's feeling like it's pinching or it's sending you to the floor in pain, that is not something you want to push through. That's something you should get checked, and not just by a trainer, but by a medical professional, somebody who can really assess the situation. My biggest tip right now really is just to focus on that range of motion and mobility and not get so bent on building the strength. This has been challenging for me because right now I have my biggest competition coming up at the end of August, and all I want to do is hard Metcons. I want to work on my Olympic lifts. I want to do all of that, but I have some other issues going on where I need to focus on my range of motion and my mobility and my flexibility, or none of that's even going to be productive training for me. So finding a balance is also a key piece of that. And right now I'm focusing on finding my balance so that all of that can be stronger. So again, number one training tip right now, focus on mobility, range of motion, flexibility. Don't get so bent on your strength and your Metcons that you leave all that out, because that is just as important, if not even more so, to the foundation of your strong training and your ability to perform well in your sport. So good luck with everything. I hope that HMB is treating you well. I know it treats me well. And don't forget to look it up at hmb.org if you've got any questions.